My name's Travis Hargett. I'm the president of Eastridge, and I want to talk about SharePoint 2013 today. If you don't know about Eastridge, we've been doing SharePoint since 2005. The company itself is 15 years old. Lots of experience there, dedicated creative team, and engineers as well as project managers on staff to help our customers. When I talk to people about SharePoint, most of the time they say, I don't like SharePoint. It's kind of clunky. Then I start showing them the images that you're seeing now and tell them that you can make SharePoint represent your brand. It can be something that your company is proud of, and it serves up information in a way that's useful to the organization. All it takes is a little bit of planning and to find the right partner to help you get it set up correctly and get your brand locked into SharePoint. The good news is today with SharePoint 2013, it's easier than ever to make SharePoint look great and be functional and add social capabilities to your organization. So it's become the place to share ideas and content and the vision of your company. It's scalable enough to organize and manage all the information assets, but it's also designed to organize and store documents and enable personal productivity, keep your teams in sync, projects on track. It's where you go to discover your experts, share knowledge, and uncover connections to information and people. It's also a hub for developers. So lots of organizations out there today are looking to become more social. So it's crucial to think not about just a set of features, but to understand how social can help them achieve some of their key business needs, such as keeping the employees up to date, breaking down silos, increasing the reuse of information, documenting tribal knowledge, finding who knows what and making collaborative decisions and putting social to work. There's an array of new social features that let you share what you're working on, ask questions, and keep track of your colleagues. This screenshot here is a pretty good one. I'd like to point out to folks, what does this look like? Well, it looks like Facebook. Microsoft took a page of pretty popular social networking site. Very little training required to use a social feed like this one. The other thing that customers have been clamoring for is I want access to my SharePoint site and my data, my documents, but it's not just from a computer. I have an iPad, I have an iOS device, I have Androids, or maybe I have a Windows phone. SharePoint recognizes the consumer of the content and automatically resizes, moves menus in an appropriate way depending on the device that's consuming it. This is a very nice feature that's built into SharePoint 2013 and SharePoint 2013 Online. So the focus of SharePoint 2013 is really to create a brand new and simplified user experience so that common tasks like document sharing, editing lists in line, and creating sites are done in a few simple clicks. And it's easy for the users, but it's also easy for you to keep control. You can drag and drop content directly in your document libraries. And then by hovering over a document, as you're seeing here, you can see a live document preview and at a glance see who you're sharing with and when the document was last edited. All this without leaving the library. You can edit these with Office web applications, or you can open up Office on your desktop and actually edit the document. So a really nice feature that's come into play with SharePoint 2013 is SkyDrive Pro. Now, SkyDrive Pro is not to be confused with the consumer SkyDrive that's a part of Windows Live. SkyDrive Pro is a service that allows organizations to provision and manage their personal cloud storage for their employees and synchronize that to their desktops. So you see in the top right here where it says Sync, you press that button, and then you have a choice where you can actually synchronize SharePoint libraries directly to your desktop. So this way of finding your data and saving data is It's very familiar to most people that have been using Windows. They know how to open up File Explorer. To them, it looks like these documents are resident on their computer. They're not. They're in SharePoint, and they're synchronized to the SharePoint server and to their desktop. The little check mark there means it is up to date and synchronized. SkyDrive Pro is a fantastic new feature. Would have loved to have seen that years and years ago. Of course, the SharePoint still gives you a central place to share content and vision and update employees, as is like an intranet example here that we're looking at. You can embed PowerPoint presentations and videos into your team or internet sites to help communicate business priorities or initiatives. SharePoint blogs allow you to provide regular updates and get rapid feedback. There's a number of improvements around inline site editing. So updating sites and communicating changes is actually easier than ever. With every SharePoint release, Microsoft really pushed to redefine the boundaries of collaboration. And a big part of this is coming from helping teams organize their content so they can work together effectively. What makes SharePoint really unique is that it's scalable enough to organize and manage all your information assets so you can access everything you need from one place. The first thing you'll notice about team sites, and this is a default new team site, is there's an intuitive wizard that guides you through setting permissions, inviting people, creating lists and libraries, and adding a custom theme to your site. Through tight integration with OneNote, Microsoft is introducing team notebooks with this release to help you capture and track team meeting notes. But the integration with Office does not stop there. There's a new feature that's available in both SharePoint and Outlook, so you can bring together all of your team's email and documents in one place. So if a colleague updates a client proposal or sends an email to the team on a new product pricing, you see the changes instantly, and your team's always in sync. Often teams cross company boundaries. You could be working with an external partner or customer. So if that's the case, you can actually invite them to participate in your SharePoint site. In this example here, as long as they've got an authenticated user ID or a Windows Live ID, you can invite them to participate with your site. Very nice feature. Now, the latest version of SharePoint and Project lets you organize everything from personal tasks, lightweight group or team projects, or organization-wide change projects. There's a new lightweight task management feature in SharePoint to help coordinate tasks across the entire team. These make it easy for teams to work together, sharing content, organizing tasks, editing lists, and it's designed to work with Microsoft Project, so it's easy to aggregate all of your project tasks across the team or the entire organization. And so it gives project managers really broad visibility into the priorities and initiatives that people are working on. This is also integrated with your own personal tasks. So at a glance, you can see the tasks you need to accomplish. Your tasks were also aggregating tasks from Outlook, Project, and SharePoint, and publishing them to your timeline view. Because we're providing a connected experience, the tasks that appear here also appear in Outlook. So SharePoint 2013 takes a really fresh approach in how we enable content creation and organize teams. But we still realize that organizing all your information assets and applying an information governance strategy to manage your enterprise content is a unique part of the SharePoint offering. So through improvements in search, Microsoft made it easy to discover and manage enterprise content across the organization. So to enable knowledge management and discovery videos, videos are now a first-class content type. So much of the content we produce today, of course, is interactive, such as this video. So we've got a much better way of getting access to that content. When it comes to staying connected, you need more than just isolated social features based on consumer technologies. You still need to author documents, go to meetings, run projects, and respond to email. SharePoint's core capabilities like social, search, and business intelligence provide a fabric that binds these experiences so people can discover experts, answers, and connections to people. SharePoint 2013 also helps you find answers to questions and discover experts you never knew existed. So you're familiar with the concept of following, I'm sure. That's a huge part of social. With SharePoint, it's really easy to follow a person, a site, hashtag, or even a document. It's a great way to stay on top of the work that you're interested in without having to send emails every day for someone asking for progress. So people search in SharePoint allows you to find people across not only their profile, but also the work they produce. This means that finding an expert on a topic becomes much easier and far more accurate. The people search experience is dedicated to making it easier to find people and understand how that person can help. In this example, the hover card shows not only information from the profile, but also shows content that matches the person that may be of interest. With a single click, you can follow that person, send them an instant message, or speak to them in link. Improvements in search go beyond getting more relevant results, but also uncovering knowledge and then sharing your insights. Social and search are the cornerstone of helping people discover answers. SharePoint 2013's new unified search platform takes information discovery to the next level. It's an intelligent search engine, and as a result, it's always improving, always looking for ways to improve the relevance of the search results. The search engine can look beyond the query and understand the meaning, and can be integrated with your own business applications or line of business systems on the back end. So back to videos. I mentioned the importance of videos earlier. There is a new search experience for videos in SharePoint 2013, and it's really targeting on surfacing information that might be hard to find. Part of this is the video slicer for your search results, so you can display them in a grid with custom refiners and a hover card to make it easy to find and view internal training videos or uncover knowledge on a particular subject that may not have been accessible in the past. One of the really cool new features of Office 2013 is Excel 2013 with Power View and the way that you can publish Power View reports into SharePoint. The data is in your SharePoint site is constantly up to date if it's linked to an Excel spreadsheet. So it's easy to suddenly create these dashboard sites or these kind of analytical KPIs that look like someone spent a tremendous amount of time and energy building a business intelligence system, when in fact you've got Excel and Power View behind the scenes. It's a very powerful technology. Kind of brings business intelligence to the masses. So let me come back one. I skipped a slide here. In SharePoint 2013, there's an entirely new feature called Community Sites. You can think about it like a discussion forum where you can discover connections, ask questions, or discover new content. You can identify people across the organization who may be able to provide instant feedback. Let's take a closer look at that. So in this example, we're seeing a list of active discussions, which helps me understand what people are talking about right now. Interact with them or search for information within a specific community or discussion topic. Pretty nice. Very clear if you're using Facebook, of course. Very easy to understand what's going on here. So search, back to search and kind of integrated with people search and discussions. It's extended throughout the core of SharePoint. So it makes it really, really easy to find what you're looking for here, whether you're looking for people, conversations, or documents. And I've got the refiners on the left-hand side. Let's drill down into some of the more important scenarios here, like enterprise social features, document collaboration, project management, and finally a little bit more on search. So if you've got application developers, they'll be happy to know that the methodology of creating apps has been streamlined. The new app model is designed to work both SharePoint on-premise and in the cloud and take advantage of widely adopted web technologies like JavaScript, HTML5, and .NET. So it's worth spending a little more time taking you through what is modern application development with SharePoint and Microsoft. So there's a series of products and platforms like SharePoint and Office that provide a lot of great out-of-the-box functionality to help us be productive. But if you want to get even more from these products, we want to bring in services from other providers as well. Services like Dynamics, Bing, or other web services that may live on the cloud. The latest version of SharePoint makes it easier to bring together rich web services and data to create powerful new apps. So apps can run outside of the SharePoint processes, can be hosted externally, or they can be exposed through REST APIs. Today there's 700,000 plus SharePoint application developers, and with this release you can bet there's going to be more and more brought into the fold. To help IT manage and distribute applications, there is an internal app directory, and it provides a central place for business and end users and IT to download and discover your approved apps. Administrators have tools to track app requests and manage licenses, so you have complete control of which apps can be accessed and a set of policies around app download and approval to keep you in control. So eye-catching websites used to be very difficult with SharePoint. I showed you at the very beginning some very, very nice SharePoint websites, and it did take a level of effort to create those. SharePoint 2013 makes it much easier to create good-looking, multilingual SharePoint sites. Your designers can build dynamic sites using tools like Dreamweaver. So the snippet gallery lets you customize controls like site navigation and catalog integration by editing a few parameters in a form, and then you copy and paste the required HTML into the site designs. So there's several reasons why this is a pivotal release for SharePoint. Not only is there a big investment around the modern user interface, but it's also the first SharePoint release that has been built to run in the cloud, and it's helping companies lay the foundation to deliver significant new features and capabilities, whether it's cloud or on-premise or both. SharePoint and Office applications can be hosted remotely, and using REST services, you can expose these applications through SharePoint and the Office APIs. SharePoint 2013 has been designed to work in the cloud, but even if you decide to run SharePoint on-premise, you can still take advantage of the performance and scalability benefits. We think it's important that IT is able to manage information, not infrastructure. Unless you want to manage infrastructure, you still can with a hybrid scenario. SharePoint's designed to minimize the operational impact and the cost associated with an upgrade. So you can deliver new features and updates faster whether you run SharePoint in the cloud or on-premise. Many customers create large volumes of content, and accessing that information can put a strain on server resources. With SharePoint's efficient file input-output, you can save incremental updates to files and documents, and what happens is it dramatically reduces your storage requirements. or your bandwidth usage if you've got these files stored in the cloud. So there's a few other important investments regarding records management and e-discovery. These are nice features that are actually easier to use than ever before. With SharePoint, you can define retention policies for sites, mailboxes, and you can preserve content in real time, which helps you to ensure the integrity of the information you store in SharePoint, Lync, and/or Exchange, or all three. SharePoint is designed to support e-discovery, and with the new site closure and disposition capabilities, you can ensure the safe and predictable handling of all your information assets. So within SharePoint, you can define this is the slide that I'm looking for here. You can also come down and actually define how sites are provisioned. So first of all, you can turn off whether people can actually provision sites or enable that. You can also set a quota on those sites as far as how those sites are provisioned, how big they can be, how many sites users can provision, or force those users to pick from a specific set of templates. So we have much, much finer grained control of how SharePoint sites are created. And if you had any history with SharePoint sites in the past, you know unregulated site creation can be a giant mess to clean up down the road. So this summary slide is kind of an eye chart. If you want to read it, you can pause the video and take a look. With that, we're at the end of this introduction. If you want to learn more, you can go to sharepoint.microsoft.com. You can get trials for whether you're academic customer, commercial customer, government, for SharePoint Online as well as SharePoint On-Premise. If you're trying to figure out how do we get started, there's a lots of good content for getting started with SharePoint. At Eastridge, we use the SharePoint deployment planning services. These are very successful. We can do them in as little as 1 day or 10 days. We've had customers use 15 days to integrate a planning session with a proof of concept. If you want more information, find us at eastridge.net. Send us an email at sales@eastridge.net. Thank you.